Guys, welcome to Sakruma Podcast. It's Nico here, so I'm going to be your host. And you don't see me on the screen, but I'm coming over. So thank you so much for coming to the podcast. And especially too, because we spend more time together on the course. And I really enjoyed your company, guys, on the retreat. It was really good. So I'm going to start again to say, introduce yourself. I'm going to introduce myself because I just was testing that one. So now we go to the main the main thing. So yes, my name is Nico, and I'm a producer, founder of the Sakruma Podcast. And welcome to the podcast. And yes, please can introduce yourself. Tell us how you're doing since we've been in the course. Before we move on to the first question.
Oh, I'm Kate McDougall.
Yeah.
I am happy to be here. Thanks for having me.
You're welcome. And
I'm Simone, and I'm very happy to be here. Do you want to know, are we supposed to say what we do?
yes, I can say that if you want, but if you don't want, I can just go straight to the first question. But I think it's good to have a little bit warm up.
A bit of a professional.
Like, how do you feel about today, the vibes in the center?
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I'm a local resident of Glasgow, and I work in the arts sector, and I've really enjoyed today. Although, Kate, I think it's been very hot.
Yeah.
Incredibly, that was not the problem any of us were expecting today.
Yeah. Positively tropical indoors.
If you want to.
I'm Anton. I'm Simone's husband.
Okay. You don't see Anton is hiding somewhere because he's just accompanying us as his wife. Simone, she's here today, and wonderful people. So yes, I'm gonna go straight. The questions I can also chip in because I'm part of this program. So don't worry, it's not about you only. So all together on this. So don't feel like pressure or something like, oh, Nico's gonna ask me a question. This question is my question too. So I want to hear from you first. So we can just chip in all together. But the first question is, what do degrowth and human ecology mean to you since you've been doing the course?
It means, for me, being real, I think, getting real, because the economy we have is not based in reality. It's not based in the laws of physics. And I have struggled to really put my finger on that. I knew it somehow, but I couldn't articulate it. And now I feel I can articulate that the economy we have is not rational. It's not real. It's not based in reality, the laws of nature. And this, for me, is about actually gripping that properly and facing it, which our culture seems to struggle to do. And we struggle to face a lot of things in our culture. And that, for me, is what this is all about.
Sam, I can just, I was really lucky to be part of the group and meeting the group. And normally when I work with the group, the energy was so fantastic, the 5 days there. Normally I work with energies. When I go in the room, there's a wrong energy, I walk out. But with you guys, it was really fantastic. It was really good. And in my background from Africa, so I didn't know anything about human ecology. I didn't know what they're talking about. But unfortunately, I was lucky now to understand it. I enjoyed it, to be honest. I learned a bit. Now I know how, for example, sometimes like where I'm from, we don't pay attention. Like we spend so much time in forest, but without actually paying attention. Why am I in the forest? Everybody's there. And nature as well. Nature is my thing. I love it so much. So I can live in the forest without no problem. But this course, I think, is as you said, is actually enabled me to learn from everyone who was there. They have a different experience and sharing knowledge. That was powerful. So I think the purpose of the podcast as well today is just like to feed in that our voices, people who missed the course, to hear us and sharing our experiences. I think that's the purpose of here today. So we're just enjoying ourselves. So we talk about the past. So I'm going to pass to Simone, but it's the same question to you as well. But you can just get on as much as you like about it. What that means to you, this course, I mean.
So what does degrowth and human ecology mean to me?
Yeah.
Well, actually, I think Kate actually summed it up pretty perfectly about this idea of reconciling the fantasy with the reality, the fantasies we've constructed with the reality. I did a talk as part of the session today, and the sentence that I said was sort of this sort of set, like reconciling ourselves from the world we live in, that we sort of resource from elsewhere, and like that. Well, sorry, the world we sort of live from. I actually just scrap that bit. I'll have to read it because I've forgotten whether it's the world we live in or the world we live from. But it's just essentially we have this fantasy that we create, that we resource from another ghostly world that we're not connected to, and we're abusing all the resources of that world, but we are completely dependent on it. And it's about how do we reconcile that, and how do we find new ways of living through that. And I think, and that's something that's a very practical thing, but it's also something that's is a psychological and experiential and a very physical thing. It's like a whole body experience. So it's changing to a whole new way of seeing and being in the world, I think. My husband just came for today. Has he got an impression on what degrowth is based on what you've seen today so far?
You can share with us, Anthony. You can share with us. Why not?
Well, from what you guys are saying, it's like the Matrix and you've taken the blue pill.
That's good. That's it. Oh, that's cool, man. It's cool. I think the next question is simple. Like, what are you gonna do after this? How do you take this? How do you imply to your work or to your community? For example, for myself, I think I'm gonna carry on doing this. Like I do like podcast a lot, and as well, I'm a community researcher for homelessness, for refugees. I just came back from London 2 days ago. It was a museum launch for Museum for Homelessness. It was amazing. So we had these very artists that put some nice drawing artists. I helped about putting the quote he was writing. So when I look at the picture, I can tell a story, right, for example. And then, it was amazing to see that. I'll share it maybe on the group as well. So I think this question for me, it does say, where do you put this course into practice in work or in community? So I think for me, the best thing I took from this course is to listen. Like if you spend like 1 hour, 2 hours, someone talking and listening, that's a very good practice that we did actually. Was some of the activities we did during the course. I can take that to the community, just listen. I was not a good listener before, but now I can sit for hours and listen to people without saying anything, which is hard because I'm talkative.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Yeah. So I don't know about you.
I think I will take more confidence in how, because like I said before, I had this intuitive feeling that something really major was not right, but I felt like I was always told, it's just because you don't understand, you're unrealistic, you're too sensitive, you don't understand the way the world works, you don't understand economics. And I'm now like, yes, I do. I do understand. It's you that doesn't understand. And I feel a lot more like able to defend these things, and I'm much more confident that actually that I was grasping, I was glimpsing something that I now feel I can really grasp. The other thing, there's so many things I love from this course that I do, the carrying stream, that each generation kind of has work to do, and then you take it on, and that helps me get out of a more sort of perfectionistic way of thinking. It's like, you know what, they took it so far, we can learn some things from that, leave some things, take it forward. So that's very beautiful. The idea of indigeneity being a verb, and I think therefore like belonging being a verb, for me is such a beautiful way that Mari put it, that I just thought she cracked it. That's it. That's what it is. Yeah. It's a verb. It's a doing. And that's the other thing that I really think, the head, heart, hands, because I will get in my head and I'll stay there.
Yeah.
and I maybe my heart a bit, but I find it very hard to do the action, so act on that with the hands, and that's the bit that I will really try and take forward. Yeah.
For me, like, I'm gonna add up. I think I enjoyed Mr. McIntosh stories and stuff, because I repeat this. When I walk in the room, there was a picture of Robert Mugabe.
Yes.
I was like, oh my god, what's gonna happen? Because not negative, I just don't like the person. But,
No.
So yeah, it was nice the way he conducted the stories and stuff, bring religion and stuff. I was like, I was really impressed when they asked me. Remember when I was passing the mic to everyone to speak and sharing about our spiritual experiences in life, which was really some sad stories, but I think my journey will be like actually get to more to the spiritual practice, like meditation, yoga and stuff. Which is enough. A black man say yoga, they're like, what's wrong with this guy? What is he doing yoga for? But they forget the world is shifting, right?
Yeah.
That's why the climate change comes in as well. So we are shifting, and our spiritual shifting as well. It's no longer like I have to go to the forest and dig plants like my grandmother. She knew everything, how to put things together. Now I can kill myself if I get all those plants together with that knowledge and stuff. So yeah, this for me I think was a lot said in that course as well. But spiritual I think is for me. I can see the world is working up very fast, and degrowth for me, like he touched that a lot, a bit and stuff. As I said, I had a good energy with you guys, so it was good. So I don't know what, Simone, what are you gonna put in practice at your work or comment? What I think you taught us a lot. Actually, you don't need to take anything.
No, I learned more than I don't think I taught many people. I mean anything actually. I learned a lot. I think what I've learned is that we have created really awful, divisive, individualistic sort of protective boundaries and echo chambers. And I think actually a lot of stuff that have been designed to support us, to try and help us understand one another, sometimes actually in practice just divide and divide and divide. And what was so inspiring, particularly about the residential element, was the peer-to-peer learning and the fact that you have people of different generations, different cultural backgrounds. I actually think quite a wide variety of different political beliefs, actually, even though I think probably attracts people who traditionally understand themselves as perhaps left wing, but actually amongst the left wing, it's a very wide group, and I think I actually think it could be even rich with even more diversity. Everything always can be, but actually the fact that people came to the space with a sense of openness, and with no judgment. And the learning that I learned was not, it was just really, excuse my French, but really weird shit, like that I learned from like Amy just telling me, well, that's boring. She was like, I don't know much about plants. I was like, she goes, there you go, if you need that for this, it will heal you here. And I was like, how do you know all that? She goes, it is my field, Simone. And I was like, oh my God, I've just got this amazing resource of people at my fingertips. And when I was young, I was very dyslexic. And I could barely write anything, and I struggled a lot at school. So for me, like my whole life has been a journey of finding really interesting people who are have different ways of thinking about the world, and just sort of like sticking to them like glue and learning from them as much as I can, because I really struggle to put that stuff together. And it was just the generosity from people in their sharing was so great, and so the learning was so rich if you were open to it. And so for me, what I learned wasn't so much. Goes back to the really beautiful bit of learning I've just learned from Kate, which is like, it's not so much actually what to do. We need the intellectual frameworks to know the size of the problem, but actually it's the fact that that's combined with the how to do it. It ain't what you do, it's the way that you do it, as Bananarama says. And that process of people applying that in practical ways in their own lives was just really amazing. And I just think these things need to be funded and rolled out in more context. But I realised that the only reason why this group had the special connection it was partly because it was very cleverly and very carefully cared for and framed by very committed organisers who really knew how to create that open space, and that's actually a lot easier said than done. So I think it was ambitious, but they got the right amount of intellectualism and balanced that with practicality, showing things working, offerings. And I realised actually it's a process of just letting go. We kind of formalise things too much, and it's like your thing about perfectionism. It's like everything has to be like to a certain standard, when actually we learn more sometimes in just letting go and letting things unravel. And if you've got trust there and it's a mess, it doesn't matter, because you're all there to learn. It's not about your ego. And I think that's the biggest thing that I thought I will take away with me. I'm permitted to be as messy as I like.
That's powerful.
Yeah, really. And the resilience in that.
Yeah.
I remember you said to the organizer at the Ridge because she'd had a plan, and then that partially came through, and then other things happened, and then it went in a bit of a, different, they had an opportunity there and a block there, and she really flowed toward I think you said you flowed where the energy is, or something that, and followed the energy, and the resilience of that, of like, there's a plan, but we're not going to be completely stymied by rigidly sticking to that plan. We're going to take opportunities, take knocks, keep going. There's such a longevity in that, a resilience that there isn't if it's too fixed.
No, I forgot I said that. Thank you.
That's good. We're going to come to the last one. It's about, tell me more about your journey from here to the future to come. For me, I think I said it already. Things I'm going to do, what I'm doing. Like now, I didn't tell you this. I'm involved in COP28. I know it's scary, online. So what we do with my friends. People I know, like they're directors of me. I'm hosting it, so it's kind of like a game show. Like so, we'll get on together. Say, bring any products you don't want to see in this planet, or any product want to keep. Right. So I brought the vape. I don't want to see that. Because they are really bad. They're everywhere on the streets, and it's environmental. It's horrible, right? And so everyone just bring. Imagine I don't bring in. What's your products you don't want to see in the world?
Anton, what do you
what product? The product you don't see in this planet. When you look at it, the climate change wise.
Probably plastic, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
I mean, I know that's quite wide ranging, but it's just in so much stuff that we have, and it doesn't biodegrade, and it stays around for a very, very long time.
Yes.
So it'd be nice to really get rid of it and replace it with better.
Yeah, I think the plastic, I totally agree. Like sometimes I feel guilty when I go in the shop. I have to pay 30 pence for it. It's like me buying double problem. Like what I'm doing. I was like, just take my backpack, go in the shop and stuff like that. So that's, I think that's, but this one we can all chip in. I'm gonna carry on. Climate change finishing on Tuesday, so we're recording the last episode. So we'll pre-record our stuff. So every 7 p.m. I'll share it. Maybe we'll show it to the people that join live on Facebook or something. People comment, whatever. But it's fun though, because like yesterday, where so many products came. Someone just showed on the screen, right? It was a guy had a tag on the sandals. That's called, it's kind of like a metal detector.
Oh, yeah.
Instead of having that thing, so he's got it in his sandals. So he just walk. He's got a thing tacked on his leg. It's got lights go on. Do we really need that?
No. Feels like imprisonment. That.
So that's my journey is about actually explore more things, like learning more and get to the groups. Like I hope we stay friends in groups. We can actually share projects and stuff like that. I'm planning to maybe try and get a funding for the podcast, because I think this podcast has actually made me a different person. I learned how to talk to people. I learned how to create topics and editing and stuff, but I don't have enough money to run it, because most of the stuff is online. I have to pay for subscriptions, blah, blah. So I'm trying to see how I'm going to get it going next year. So that's my journey. And I would like to keep this room actually, than people coming to my house for interviews. I think it's more welcoming than going to someone's house, So I'll work that out. So that'll be a studio. So I don't know, what's your journey from here? Okay.
So I think I often struggle to settle to things, and I feel more determined and capable to do that after this. So I work a little bit for a project called Lauriston Agroecology Farm in Edinburgh, and I'm going to be doing a few more hours for them starting in the new year, and I feel really good about that. And that's my role is the newsletter and the social media and the website, and it is telling stories about the farm, and I feel more and more passionate about that. And I also slightly recklessly, because of this course, put my hand up to volunteer to help the Edinburgh Retrofit Collective with local group organising for my neighbourhood. And I sort of, I've said yes to that. I don't really know what that entails. So I'm hoping that, we also take this community with us, because it does feel like this incredible group of people to be able to consult with, check things with, ask questions. Like you say, it's so generous and it's such a rich mix of knowledge and skills. So I'm hoping I take that to lean on.
You will.
That's really good, guys. I don't know if Simon, before we close, want to say something or.
I'm really glad that I'm not going to focus too much in my plans for the future, because I'm going to be honest with you about the stark realities. I work in the arts. There's not much of a future for it at the moment. Like, it's being choked and it's dying. And I know that there will come a moment where there'll be an opportunity for me to take a lot of the learning from Degrowth, but also from my own research, and translate it into something brilliant. I know, but at the moment, funded arts is not getting the support it needs, and artists aren't being paid. And I think, you only need to look at the film industry and the strikes and everything, and all I know is that the arts are, I think, integral to how we think through the change. And I'm fed up of people in suits separating it as if it's some sort of luxury that's on the side. Like my husband, who's with me here, he works in the NHS. You work as in hospitals, and you help to save people's lives. And we have this joke where I'm like, well, you might save people's life, but in the arts we give people's life meaning, and that's just as important. And so for me, what I want to take forward is just learning, as much learning as possible, and trying to be super, super hyper flexible about this new future that we have. But I'm just not gonna bend and compromise my values to fit round a growth economy agenda in the arts anymore. So I think the next year I'm going to become an activist. I think if I'm not one already. But I'm going to come out of the activist closet.
I think you are already. Once you do Degrowth,
gonna get the badge. Yeah.
You're already part of that. But
anyway,
anyway,
I think that's true. Yeah.
I think this was the best chat together, guys. Thank you so much for coming to the podcast. It's really nice. I can just say, what do you think are important of this podcast for today, for you guys to come here? I think our voices to be heard and raise awareness. And I think, as I said earlier on, it's about the people miss the course so they can hear what we did.
Yeah.
I think that's what. So, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Wow, that was good. That was good. 20 minutes. That was fantastic.